Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
15 PCA.
810-454.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. X-Men 97, episode 2, and it's still good. It's only been 2 episodes for me. I know they're like on episode 1000 by now, but it's still doing a good job. I'm so shocked that they actually decided to make a good show instead of a stupid let's keep making references to Donald Trump or something ridiculous. They decided just to kind of tell an X-Men story. It goes a little quick, but it's not that bad. They took some weird storylines from other things and then kind of adding it in here. Like they allude to the relationship between Magneto and Rogue. I know that I'm a huge fan of the Age of Apocalypse comic books. That was like when I was a kid, those comic books were coming out, and that was an every week thing for me. Get to the comic book store, I Gambit and the Externals. You had the Ultimate, so many cool comics during the Age of Apocalypse, and in that version of the story, Magneto and Rogue were together because he can actually physically touch her because he uses like some type of magnetism, whatever, where he can still touch her without her powers affecting him. So they allude to that relationship. I don't know if that was a thing prior to that storyline, but maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But I'm overall still pretty dang good. I 8.5 out of 10. I do mini reviews, YouTube shorts. They pop up over on TikTok. I post the same videos on both platforms. So if you want my short reviews, that's it. Boom, watch it. Pretty good. Want a long form review? Stick around because we're gonna be here for about a half an hour. We open up and we see a carnival. And there's some people rescuing. There's something wrong with this Ferris wheel. It's going to fall. Boom. Magneto saves them. Magneto saved a bunch of humans. And he's wearing that weird, stupid purple costume. I know it was in the comics. It sucks. That costume for Magneto is awful. I absolutely hate it. He should have worn his white Magneto uniform. That was so baller. Oh my God. It's such a good look. I freaking love that white costume. It's so cool. Anyways, they're like, oh wow, Magneto's saving people. That's like crazy. But he's a terrorist. He did do a lot of bad things. He killed a lot of people. So just because he did one good thing doesn't mean he can't stand trial for all the bad things he did. But Magneto's doing good stuff. And then even Scott's like, I don't know, the Magneto guy, he's a butthead. I can't believe Xavier didn't trust me to run the school. But if he gave it, because he knew Magneto deep down inside just doesn't want to hurt people, but he feels like this is the only way he can accomplish saving mutants is by hurting humans. And by giving him the school, and then giving him his dream, maybe he could help Magneto. And I guess it kind of, in this episode at least, it does look like it's working. Does he still have a secret plan of being a bad guy? I don't know. I can't trust Magneto. I trust him, but I don't trust him. Then we see that the Friends of Humanity are going to attack the school, and they're attacking the Morlocks and everything, because remember those guys, they live in the sewers and stuff. Then what in the Fallout 4 musket rifle thing is this? It's almost identical. I don't know, maybe it isn't, but it's pretty goofy looking. Like they really couldn't make this thing look cool. Like why does it have wooden parts? Whatever. But I guess this is a new mutant, like they shoot you with this, it takes away your mutant powers. But they're like, oh, this blonde chick's pretty freaking hot. She's got that freaking mutant racist hotness about her. But she's like, oh, you dirty, disgusting mutants. I hate your guts. Magneto shows up. And of course, Magneto's speeches are the best. I love his speeches. And they beat back the Friends of Humanity. He saves those kids. And of course, Magneto's like, follow me, my children. He has that very savior, I'm come to save you. Look how powerful I am. And when you're with me, you don't have to fear. Super cool. I love it. Everyone's still like, oh man, Magneto is doing his good things. But at the same time, you're Magneto and it's hard to trust you. Even Storm's like, you were our greatest foe for the longest time. It's hard to just turn around and just trust you out of the blue. But they're having this conversation about like, should he really be the leader? But it's his. Xavier gave him the school, so it belongs to him. It's not like anyone can really argue against that. Jean and Storm have a heart-to-heart about like sometimes I wish I was just human and not a mutant. Then my son, would just be able to grow up normal. But, is it selfish? Is it wrong for me to say that? And Storm's like, no, because you just want what's best for your kid. And it's hard being a mutant because there's always going to be bad people out there who are going to want to hurt you. Then remember I was talking about them alluding to a relationship with Rogue and Magneto, because Magneto's just in Xavier's old office and he's just sitting there like being brooding, because that's what Magneto does. And Rogue goes to go talk to him, and then he's like, hey, it's probably not a good idea for me and you to be alone together. And she's like, oh, don't, that was a long time ago. I'm thinking, when was this? When did this relationship happen? And if both people are over 18, they can do whatever they want. But Magneto's like 80. Rogue is what? Maybe late 20s, maybe 30. He's like 50 years her senior. It's a little gross. I know like the magnetic pull of the earth allows Magneto to stay like younger physically, like his body. That's why he's so freaking ripped, even though he was in an internment camp, a death camp back in World War II because he was Jewish. So he would be super crazy old, but whatever. I think it's kind of gross. It's gross to me. But then, what does Gambit think of all this? That's kind of really effed up. And it's because he can physically touch her. So like, oh, you got to be with the one guy who can touch you. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? Magneto's kind of a piece of garbage, willing to kill people. He's willing to even sacrifice mutants. Like, he would be like, oh, for the greater good, I'll send out the cannon fodder to go get killed, but they're doing it for the greater of mutant kind. He's that kind of person. So he's not like this stalwart hero of mutants. He will use them to his, benefit if he can. Military shows up, and they're like, oh, we got these special rifles that you can use your magnetism on. He's like, oh yeah, that's really awesome. That's really cool. That's cool that you got that. And he just grabs the helicopter, just gonna just chop him up. But he's like, you're here to stand trial. He's like, oh, if it's a fair trial, I'll go willingly. They put a mutant inhibitor collar on him. He's gonna go to have a court case at the UN. There's protesters because they don't think he should even get a trial, which is stupid. Nobody think. This is where we get the political stuff. But here, I see it. This isn't the world of the X-Men, and these aren't Democrats. These aren't Republicans. This isn't BLM. This isn't Antifa. This isn't, the Southern Nazi part, whatever. There's crazy people. It's none of those people, because this doesn't fit that mold. They're mad at them for even giving him a trial, and they're just as guilty as him. He has a really cool speech about how he was forced into this. Even though, he talks about when I was a kid, my whole family was put to death because we believed in a different God. They didn't like us because of our religion, my race. Now it happens to me because I'm a mutant. You will kill my brothers and sisters, and you just expect us to stand there and do nothing to defend ourselves. Then they have like these UN judge guys, and of course there's like the Southern, y'all kind of guy, like, well, we gotta protect the humanities. It's a little heavy-handed, whatever. But there's big old riots happening outside. They're starting to storm the building, and all at the same exact time, all this is happening, Jean's having her baby, and she's at home with Wolverine. Wolverine's like, oh, crap. He gets in his car. He's driving like a madman. There's no helicopter. They don't have any type of air transport that can just get in and just program it to take him to the hospital. I don't know. I guess call me stupid to think that they would have something like that. And then, they're like contacting them like, oh, crap. We got to get Cyclops to Jean. There's a riot going outside. Rogue, they're trying to do everything without hurting people. But, this Friends of Humanity, they got this new guy, and he's just a guy. I don't know if this suit of armor he's wearing gives him like powers or anything, but he has that rifle thing, and he's able to toss Cyclops' cookies. Like, he just beats the out of him. Didn't Cyclops just beat the crap out of a bunch of Friends of Humanity in the last episode? But this guy somehow is like unstoppable. I remember people were like, oh, people can agree with him. Oh, they're racist. No one agrees with this guy. He's just being a jerk. And everyone complains. Everyone hates a complainer. So it doesn't really matter who's doing the complaining. But he even beats the crap out of Bishop, gets a collar on him so he can't have his powers. Beat the crap out of him. Beat the crap out of Cyclops. I mean, it's an absolute beat down. But I like how Morph, he turns into Colossus, then he turns into Psylocke. He has Psylocke's swords. Can Morph do that? Are those swords like part of his body? Because I remember in the original, he turned into Wolverine. He has Wolverine's claws, but they're they're not real animanium because he can only look like somebody. He can copy their powers. I don't know the extent of Morph's powers and how they play around with that, but can he create swords? He gets his visor back on. Hey, we got to get you out. You got to get to your wife. Storm, Magneto, protect the UN people. And I like how Storm's like, hey, okay. She's giving orders because Storm is a badass. She's like, hey, you guys defend the entrance. Me, Magneto, will defend the judges. Get his collar off because he's going to need his powers. You don't tell us what to do. She's like, shut the hell up. You want to die? Then shut the hell up. Do what I tell you to do. They undo his collar, so they're going to work together. Electricity, because she can shoot lightning bolts and stuff, and he's magnetism. All this stuff works together. Super, super cool. I love it. Magneto just beats the crap out of these dudes. Like, oh God, I love Magneto so much. Get to the hospital, and the hospital guy won't work on Jean having a baby because what if the mutant power like hurts us or something? That's so stupid. No doctor in the world would freaking do that. It's beyond stupid. Rogue comes in and has Cyclops. Then Rogue just uses her powers to like absorb you. Like she can grab you and just drain your life force. She can't take your memories, but it's only after prolonged exposure, and it's very dangerous, and it can kill and or leave the person in a coma. She's able to touch the doctor and steal his doctor's expertise to like deliver the baby. No, that's not how that works. That her powers do not work that way. They just made that up. But she's able to do that so she can deliver the baby. That guy ends up getting his shot off on Magneto. Storm jumps in the way, loses her powers. I'm like, oh damn, I don't know if that was a permanent thing or not, but she's struggling. She can't do anything. And then Magneto, he's like, you people, look at my friend here. Look at Storm on the ground groveling like an animal. It's exactly what you want her to be. Oh, we didn't want this. We didn't want to turn out this. I was like, yeah, you did. You want this. You want to see that. You want to see my people crawling on their hands and knees like the vermin you think we are. Takes everyone up in the air, tells them, hey, I could just kill all of you. And I'm not doing it because my friend trusted me not to. He's struggling with it, and he's like, I'm not going to kill you or him, even though you guys all deserve it. I'm going to let you down. You arrest this guy, and I just want you to show that I am doing my best to change. I'm like, oh, that's super nice. The son's born, and I do like the fact that it is, it's Cable. For those who don't know, it's Cable. So when Cable comes back from the future, that's him. And Magneto was able to get the UN to give them, he basically got a pardon for everything he's done. And then they're going to grant Genosha like actual like UN representation. First of all, the UN sucks. You don't want to be part of the UN. Anyways, the Cyclops is like, well, if the Charles Xavier trusted you, I guess I trust you. But he goes, even though we made great steps today, there wasn't without sacrifice. Get down to Hank. He's like, hey, Storm, Aurora, bad news. We don't know how long this is going to last. Probably permanent. You're not a mutant anymore. Breaks her heart. She just can't. He's like, more tests can be done, but as of right now, for as far as I'm concerned, and it's a permanent thing. She cries. She leaves a letter for Jean saying, hey, I got to leave. I can't be in this building if I'm not a mutant. Take care of your baby. I'm gone skis. Don't know where she's going. I don't know if that's the best option there because you still have a lot that you can teach. There's still school. You can still teach children even though you may have lost your powers. Like I thought that was kind of lame that she left. Everyone's super sad because it is sad. Then Rogue kind of goes to Magneto and that's where she finds her, companionship, not with Gambit, but with Magneto. And then Gambit sees it and he's like, I want to kill this mother. We have Morph and Wolverine hanging out. I do like the fact that Morph is such a goofball idiot and Wolverine is so freaking serious and they make a good friendship that way. But everyone tries to make it to like a sexual thing. My goodness, guys, people can be good friends without them wanting to do each other. Stop being weird. But we have, it's like, oh, don't worry, Storm will be back any minute. And, she'll be a couple of weeks and she'll be back. Door knocks and it's Jean. I need the X-Men. And you look over and you see the other Jean. You're like, what the like, who's this? Is it a shapeshifter? Is it a clone? Is it that? I think they're doing the Madeline Pryor thing where this whole time Scott's been with a clone of Jean, not the real, quote unquote, real Jean. That's an interesting storyline to start right now. But yeah, again, besides some of the silly, stupid stuff that people take out of context and like make it about their struggle, it's still a pretty good dang show. The action's great. The action set pieces are great. It still has a little bit of silliness, a little goofiness, but you know what? Overall, still pretty damn good for the first 2 episodes. Again, 8.5 out of 10. Check out my mini reviews, like, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff. Keep it going. I love all you guys. See you on the next one. Crimson Sin here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting on the video really helps out a lot. It gets the video spread around more people get to see the videos, and we get to make more videos for you guys. So thank you, and we appreciate every single one of you guys.